I saw this video from a cryptocurrency miner that I have been watching for a little while now, and it's New England Crypto. And he actually just got done testing his Intel Arc GPU mining rig. I know there's been a lot of struggles with it, and I wanted to react to it because we're also testing the latest Arc GPUs. I believe these are he's using are the A750s. A lot has changed recently with the Intel Arc A750s. I'm going to watch it, see if I find any insights in particular, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and hop into this one.
Hey guys, welcome to New England Crypto and East Coast Hardware. My name is Matthew. We are
That's my name.
Family. In today's video, we are finally putting together the Intel Arc GPU mining rig that we finished gathering up hardware for right before our third child was born.
I will say I'm not a big fan of the A750 reference models because they're essentially, for those that don't know, they're glued together. And that is a problem in a mining environment because it gets so hot that the glue can, over time, especially if you're running 24/7, detach. And then, of course, you run into issues of, not cooling properly, not good adhesion to the core and the memory modules. So I would recommend not going with, in particular, the reference models of the A series. Now, I haven't done a breakdown of the B series yet, but I'll be doing that here after we get the reviews out and everything. We'll see if they continued with that particular design, and we'll have to kind of see where that ends up. But right now, A series, I would personally avoid the reference models just due to that factor.
That we finished gathering up hardware for right before our third child was born in June.
Congratulations.
We've had our hands very full adjusting to life with 3 kids.
But now, we did get the right motherboard. So for those that are not aware, you have essentially a problem with the Intel Arc GPUs where you need to support not just above 4G decoding, but also resizable bar. The only mining motherboard that supports resizable bar right now is the H510 Pro BTC Plus.
We're figuring it out, and we definitely wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. All right, back over to the Intel GPU rig build. Let's go back over the hardware that we'll be using for this build. It's been a little while since the original video where we went over all of it. And here we have 6 Intel Arc A750 GPUs. These are the limited edition models made directly by Intel themselves, just like NVIDIA's Founders Edition models. Right here we have an ASRock H510 Pro BTC Plus mining motherboard. One of the main reasons for choosing this motherboard is that it has the ability to enable clever access memory, also known as resizable bar, which is very important
Perfect.
with the Intel GPUs in particular. We went over this in the previous video that I discussed. I'll also link that video below for anyone that's interested and needs the info. We're using a 1600 watt EVGA P2 platinum rated ATX power supply for this one, along with some beautiful orange veteran miner cables. We have an Intel i5-10500T CPU right here that we got from Brandon Coin and bc-pc.com. Super excited to test this thing out on Varus as well. One of the reasons that we went with this model in particular is that it has onboard graphics, so it'll make it super easy to get a display out of the H510 motherboard.
So I will mention that I disable the onboard graphics on the Intel mining rigs because it will try to mine on that, and it will cause issues with your mining rig, or it has in the past for me. We'll have to see what he experiences.
We've got a basic, cost-effective CPU cooler here. Nothing fancy, but I've used this one in the past with really good luck with Intel CPUs. We were really hoping to use the awesome Glacier RGB CPU cooler that our friends at Gelid had sent over to Mrs. New England Crypto. Unfortunately, it's a little too large for this setup, but we'll definitely be using it in an upcoming build. For the RAM, we're keeping it simple. We've got a single stick of Ballistics DDR4. For the SSD, we've got a nice cost-effective unit to flash Hive onto. Along with a handful of splitters, I think we've got...
What do you guys think? I know that Hive, recommends utilizing SATA SSD. I've been running USB drives for almost 10 years now with no issues, really. I mean, is this something that people run into issues with?
just about everything we need to get to building. Let's go.
I've run USB drives on Hive, never seen any issues. Yeah, me neither, Economist. I think it's just cheaper to go get the Micro Center 8 GB drives. Hey, Heavy Flavor. It's going good. Just checking out the New England crypto video here on the Intel rig. He's got the kiddo building the rig right now. That's super cool. Yes, nothing lower than USB 3.0. That is a good point on the USB drives for running Hive. Thanks for mentioning that, Blazer. Really good B-roll.
All right, let's finish getting this thing put together. She's doing an awesome job. We've got these 7-inch screens that get powered directly off the motherboard with a USB. Just use an HDMI and you get video.
Yeah, I got one of those. Those are great screens. I use
She's
them
completely
for
put together. Let's plug her
a
in
second
and fire her
monitor
up.
at LAN events too.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Okay, it's been a couple of extremely frustrating weeks trying to get this rig up and running. Brandon Coin over at bc-pc.com even sent us a second CPU to test out, just in case, and I scooped up a second ASRock H510 motherboard so we could test everything out. We will get this figured out. Mrs. New England Crypto is swapping the CPUs and everything over to the other motherboard so we can test everything out and get this figured out.
I wonder if she bent pins while she was installing that CPU. I was trying to look and it looked like you really want to drop it in evenly, like and I did notice she was putting it in at an angle. I'm wondering if some pins got bent.
So stoked to move on. All right, we've got everything swapped over to the new motherboard. Let's fire it up and see what we've got. Oh my god. Not again. 48 hours later. We finally made some progress. We checked everything. Power connection, CPU, RAM, PSU. You'll never guess what it was. The goddamn CMOS batteries for both motherboards.
Were they dead or were they not installed? Hold on. No, it was installed.
We're going to use our the active and non. That was a pain, but at least we got through it. Stay positive. Stay positive.
At least you can build another rig if
I
you
love
want.
the diagram that this motherboard gives you with the active and non-active PCIe lanes, and these 7-inch screens are killer. So stoked we finally got this going. We're going to use our previous video to go through the steps of enabling clever access memory, also known as resizable bar. This awesome little remote looking thing is actually a keyboard and mouse in one. It runs off this little USB that plugs into the motherboard. I love these, super handy. Boy, it feels like it's taken 7 months to get to this point. Alright, now that we've got the rig up and running, we're going to flash Hive onto that new SSD that I showed you guys.
Brother, clean your computer before you take a video.
Alright, this feels great. We got the SSD installed on the rig. We fired
You're like that lady in HR that has a bunch of crumbs in her keyboard.
it up for the first time, taking a quick look at the pre-assembled meter box.
It's like my S button isn't working anymore. Yeah, well, maybe stop pouring juice in it.
So we can see that we're only pulling 22 watts at the moment. Alright, it took a little while, but it looks like Hive is fully loaded. We're going to give it a couple minutes, but I think we're ready to get mining. I'll be right back.
I like to just throw, I mean, this is the way I do it, and I don't know. I don't usually even hook up any monitor to Hive unless something's broken, and I just throw in the rig.conf file onto the USB drive and boot it up and then manage it from there. I think when you are deploying a lot of rigs, other than Pixie Boot, that's the fastest way to do it.
It looks like we're just about ready to add some GPUs. Let's head over and take a look at the laptop over here with Hive on it. We can see that the rig is showing online with all of the proper information. And you can see the H510 motherboard right here, the CPU information, and we renamed the rig. Looking good! 7 months in the making, it's time to add some GPUs.
That's fun.
Let's start by adding just a single GPU. We'll get it all fired up and make sure everything's all good before moving on. Up first, a New England Crypto Orange GPU power cable from the Veteran Miner, along with a good quality 16 gauge splitter.
I thought that 1600 watt had enough to not run splitters. Doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then aren't there a couple over here? Or am I wrong? This is a different. I guess not. I guess I'm wrong. I would personally rather run 2 power supplies because that motherboard supports it and not run splitters. I just, out of an abundance of caution, I never run splitters. I just feel like I need to say that. And I've never had a fire. I don't think he needs cable length. I think those look long enough. What does he try first? Because if he tries Ergo first,
All right, there she is, our first Intel Arc A750. Going to the flight sheets, we're going to look for SRB miner.
No!
With the Nautilus flag.
No!
Send it!
Send it
Speaking
straight
of
to
Wooly Pulley, they just happen to be today's video sponsor.
40
Shout out
megahash
to
a
Wooly
second.
Pulley. We've been mining Ergo on Wooly Pulley since early 2021. You can also mine Ravencoin, Conflux, Vertcoin, Alephium, Raptorium, as well as solo mine. We're currently doing a solo mining test with our rigs that are down at Terra Hosting.
Man, is this
Taking a
what
quick look.
I like? And I don't want to I don't want to everybody's going to do their own thing. I don't want to come down too harsh, but I've been catching up on everybody, and it seems like all of these videos that I've been watching lately, whether it's hobbyist, New England, modern mining, it's all just one constant ad. Does anybody else feel like that? Like it's like the veteran mining cables, Wooly Pulley, Terra Hosting, so on. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, obviously, there's a side where, you need to know what the parts are to help the people out or whatever so that they know what the options are. But it also seems like a little much.
Look at the Ergo stats on Wooly Pulley, we can see that they currently have 409 miners online with a total hash rate of 249 gigahash. The network has a total hash rate of 11 terahash. Thank you again to Wooly Pulley for being today's video sponsor. And now it's time to get those Intel GPUs up and hashing. Let's take a look at the Samsung Frame TV and see if Hive's loaded. Looks like Hive is loaded up. We can see the GPU. We are doing
so those are the 8
auto
gigabyte models.
fine-tune. Let's go back and refresh the laptop and see what we've got. She's mining. Looks like only 43 megahash, but we'll check that out. Connected to the pool, mining away. Gotta figure out why we're only at 43 meg.
So every Intel Arc GPU seems to be right at 43 megahash a second. The B580, A750. I haven't tested the A770 yet. I'm about to get the A770. But that tells me something weird is going on if it's across models.
Megahash. Take a look at the meter box. It looks like we're pulling 160 watts. Just not sure why it's only 43 megahash. I know that we still need to update the drivers and all of that, but I really just want to get the GPUs on this rig. What do you guys say? Let's do this. Ooh-wee. There's just something beautiful about a fresh GPU mining rig, I tell you what.
You can add a 7th because you can add a riser to that motherboard too, just for anyone that's curious. They have basically riser USBs for additional PCI.
6 GPUs are showing. Unfortunately,
I think it's just one though.
43
so
megahash.
I think max is 7 on the H510 with one riser.
We've got some testing to do. Unfortunately, this snowstorm plowed into New England as soon as I finished that rig, so I had to pack everything up and bring it home. Also, I talked to Soat the Goat, shout out the son of a tech. He told me to try MMPOS. Not having too much luck yet, so I reached out to a developer for MMPOS through Discord. Let's see how we can do. The snow hit us pretty good, so I'm not going anywhere for a little while. Unfortunately, I am back at work. The GPU rig is running good, but all GPUs are still getting 43 megahash. I'm back on Hive now. I'm talking to some of the people over at Hive. They have a live chat. They've been helping me work through some things, try some things. We've tried every older stable version, unstable version, beta version. We've tried all the different drivers, all the different OpenCL versions. Unfortunately, we just cannot get full hash rate out of these GPUs yet. We might just have to wait for better drivers. This is killing me. So I threw her on Varus and I was like, let's just see how it goes. Again. Oh man. I will keep plugging away at this, and I promise to update you all as soon as we can get full hash rate. I've got one SSD with MMPOS on it, and I've got an SSD.
You can still do an ET hash based coin. So like Ethereum, I think still gets full hash rate. Ravencoin does, but they're not great Ravencoin performers, but they do get full hash rate on them still. And any of the core intensive algorithms.
SD with Hive on it, so I can switch back and forth whenever I get an update. I will keep in touch with both of them. Everything's working fine. It's just not working like it should, and unfortunately the way they are nowhere near profitable. We got to get that fixed. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Please like and or subscribe on the way out, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you for bearing with me on this one.
Good video. Awesome B-roll. I think it caught me up on everything. I'll post it in chat for you guys to go give it a like. I've already given it a like, obviously. Just a couple notes. I think like the biggest thing you can learn from this, just in general, is the GPU mining space is changing literally all the time. Drivers are updating, OSs are updating, firmwares are updating, and before you go out and ape into like buying 6 GPUs, I think the biggest lesson we can learn here is even if I've tested something, maybe I haven't tested it in a year and something's changed, order one. At least right now, because the thing is like we aren't having GPU shortages. You don't need the bulk order. Order one, test that one GPU, make sure it's still getting the numbers that you expect it to get and operating the way you think it will, and then order the other 5 or the other 7 or whatever size you're going to do, and just make sure, you know, the risers do the same thing, you know, motherboards, power supplies, just order one and make sure that it's functioning. I think that's the biggest takeaway that we can learn from this video, and hopefully New England Crypto figures it out. I am going to run down to my storage unit and plop out a A770 and 750 to do some testing on my own. And then obviously I've been testing the B series, but this is a problem on Ergo specifically. I think yesterday, Internet Mayo had mentioned that SRB Miner said that there's only 4 gigabytes of memory accessible on the A750s, and because of the DAG size on Ergo, that's what was causing the reduction in hash rate. The reason I'm not so sure that's accurate is because the B580 has 16 gigabytes of memory and has the same issue. So I don't know that that's necessarily the reason. Now, I would assume SRB Miner knows more than I do, because obviously Doctor's building out these miners. He's seeing what the operating systems see. So maybe that's true. I'm just not fully sold on that being true because of that outlier surrounding that necessarily. So that's my 2 cents on it. Make sure you go like New England Crypto. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.